We got the man, Chris Hermes, in the building with a paid ads workshop. He is actually one of our mentors inside of the School of Scaling. And I just want to say this man is an incredible ads expert. And he's here today to show you all of the sauce and to allow him to give a better introduction. Chris.
Awesome. What's going on, guys? I'm super excited to be here. And I'm even more excited to try and give you guys some value today on paid ads, setting up an offer, funnel, all that good stuff, whether in sales too, if you're an ecom, whether you're an agency, a coach, consultant, a service-based business, local. There's a lot of different things that you can apply this to if you kind of just listen and enjoy what you're about to hear. But yeah, without further ado, I put together a little deck for you guys and we can dive right into it. You guys see my screen? I can hear. Awesome. Awesome, guys. So this is going to be our paid ads masterclass. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Chris Hermes 21, and that's a fractional CMO page. It tells a little bit about my story and kind of how I got to this point of managing a couple $1 million in ad spend per month and scaling my own agency, which we'll dive into a little bit about me. But first, I wanted to do a little pop quiz for everyone. So I need everyone to get their keyboards ready if possible. Okay. So first question, and don't worry, I'm not going to kick anyone out. These are very important questions though. Okay. So even if you get them wrong, but they're super important if you're planning on running ads, like spending even 10, 20, 30 bucks a day. And well, definitely if you're spending millions. So true or false? If your first to 10 ad creatives don't work, it means ads just don't work for your offer. What would you guys say? False. See a lot of false. We got one true, a lot of false. Okay, awesome. Well, if you guess false, you're correct, because most winners come after 10 plus creative tests. That means different variations, different hooks, different bodies. 90% of people quit before they can even get to that point, though. And here's an example of a client of mine where I'm doing this exact strategy. We're spending about $1,000 a day on ads for a high-ticket B2B service. We have 27 ad creatives running, different variations. They're all a very similar video, but you can see here we have 27 different variations running. And that's what it takes to get the best quality lead, cost per lead. And it's doing very well. Nice 4x ROAS on the front end, which is amazing. And that's what we're always shooting for paid ads. So the truth is, if you know how to set up a creative testing system, like I teach you, you don't have to be a creative wizard or a creative genius. I'm not a graphic design expert or a extreme video editor, but you don't need to be anymore with all the tools that are out there. You just need to know how to use AI and research your competition with all the tools that are available. Facebook ads library, all that sort of stuff. It's all out there for you to see. So there should be no excuse to do something absolutely terrible with ads. All right, number 2, true or false? You need a long VSL and nurture funnel to convert cold traffic. So you need a long video, 10 minutes on your sales page that tells them what they're doing or what your service is, social proof, all that good stuff. And you really need to nurture that traffic to convert into cold traffic. Is that true or false? Oh, this one got some more true false. False, I think value can speak for itself. Awesome. All right. False. You don't need complex funnels to win. Okay. It helps sometimes, but I don't think you need it at all in the beginning stages. And I'll tell you why. Some of the most profitable campaigns I've ever seen in my life are an ad, a video or image to a landing page. And you're either just capturing a lead or you're going for the purchase straight away. The way you capture that lead can be a survey, it can be a form, it can be a number of different ways. But overall, if you keep it simple like that, that's going to be your best chance at converting cold traffic. So I'll show you guys an example of a recent funnel that I'm actually running for one of my clients. It's converting super well. It's not, there's no VSL on it. There's no long built out email sequences yet. Helps have those down the line, but it's not super necessary right away. And it's just one good ad, one simple page, one good offer. And he took home 15K first 10 days, but that's because he also had the offer set, which we're going to go into. But just to show you guys what it looked like and why this is a good lander, we're clearly calling out the target audience of window tinters. We're telling them our offer, not just our service. Like we don't just run ads for someone. Our offer is getting them the end result of 20 to 30 extra jobs per month, and they don't have to pay anything until they see results. And they're able to get away with this offer by offering a 1 or 2 week free trial and just having them cover their ad spend, because any serious client would cover their ad spend anyway. So with this type of window tinting niche, we're able to get results super quick because people need their windows tinted and it's a quick sales conversion. So it only takes about 2 weeks to really show that it works. So if we're able to convert 60-70% of these free trials into paying customers, then this is super profitable, which is exactly what's happening. And then there's a lot of low friction because one, we're telling them pay nothing till they see results, guaranteed. And we also having them opt in here. We're telling them that it's a training, see how he grew a local shop, and it's just showing another case study testimonial. And it's very, very low entry. So, third question. Targeting the right interest is more important than creative. What do you guys think? True or false? Targeting the right interest is more important than the creative. Okay. So it's false. Meta's algorithm is smarter than me. It's smarter than you. It knows it just trusts me. It knows at this point. I used to be very, very into interest-based targeting back in 5 years ago when I was doing e-commerce, but as time has progressed, it's all about creative. Creative is your targeting. Your message filters out the bad audience by doing a proper call out, and it brings in the right type of people. We don't want to limit who we can target with interest because we're just narrowing our ICP. Our ICP could be in there. Our ideal client profile could be in all these people if we're broad. If we restrict it, we're just restricting it to what Facebook thinks is somebody who's an insurance agent, for example. If we keep it broad and with the creative targeting, we have a lot more people we can reach. So broad campaign outperforms insurance or interest over a long period of time every time because you can focus on the creative instead of trying to hack the audience. Okay, so the creative needs to call out that exact pain and promise though, and by focusing on that creative and delivering the best customer experience for social media users, that is the way that you get low CPMs, get high click-through rates, and more leads. Because that's what Facebook, TikTok, Google, all these platforms want you to do. They make money by keeping their consumers on their scrolling. So by you delivering a good quality ad that keeps them scrolling, interacting, and on the platform longer, they're going to show your ad for cheaper. So if you just focus on the creative, that's how you get all your costs down. Quite frankly, not interest-based. Fourth question, true or false? You need a $10,000 a month budget to see real results with ads. That is false. You don't always need big spend, but you do need a valid offer and testing. It helps if you're able to actually sell. If you're doing high ticket sales, for sure, if you're going to be spending a little bit, because if you're spending $20 a day, $600 a month, and you're able to sell just one person for 2K, 3K retainer, or a 5K, 10K high ticket package, you're at a very profitable front end. So I've seen that numerous times on my own offers. When I scaled my own marketing agency, we spent about $300,000 in ad spend and collected 1.2 mil in cash collected just on the front end, right? So that's awesome. That is a 4x return. But we started with, I think I might even started $20 a day way back when. But one of my coaches told me to get it to 50 because I was trying to attract a higher type of financial services individual who had more money. So even then we were profitable because we sold a retainer for a few K a month or a high ticket service. So you just need to know your numbers. Number 5, our last true or false. A strong offer can make even average ads convert. It's 100% true. Offer is way more important than your funnel or your ads. If you can get an offer that's right, you don't even need a media buyer a lot of times. A lot of campaigns can run on their own if they're that good. I've seen it happen in my career. It's not in all cases, but if you have that strong of an offer, the funnel and ads are secondary. People are going to opt in and they're going to find a way to talk to you. The offer hits hard, the ad just needs to get out of the way. It's all about the right strategy set up front with the offer. On this workshop, you're going to discover the 3 hidden reasons most business owners lose money on ads, even if they've got a working offer and funnel. And little hint, it's almost never the algorithm or the platform. Ever. Okay. So how do you know when you're actually ready to run ads? And you're going to see the checklist I use even before launching like any campaign. Most ad problems are offer problems in disguise. And you're also going to see the exact ad structure I use to scale brands from 20K a month to 100K a month, all the way to 400K plus months. And even if they failed with ads before in the past, I'll walk you through these real creative testing systems, targetings, and funnel setups. My promise to you is that this workshop is going to save you thousands of dollars in months of trial and error, and put you in a good position if you have a team to show them how to properly set up an offer and convert cold traffic. You'll know exactly what to do when running ads and when not to run ads as well, because there's definitely times where a lot of people should never run ads or they're just not ready. Yeah, you'll see the exact frameworks I've used to scale 7-figure ad accounts and 8-figure. Everything I'm showing you is working literally right now across e-com, service businesses, coaching, consulting, agencies, info products, all that good stuff, business opportunities. It's all working right now in this market right now, not a couple years ago, right now. Okay. So when I'm acquiring clients, we're going to talk mostly about paid ads, but before you even get there, there's really a hierarchy to this thing. Okay. So in order to hit our goals, we really need to start with outreach first. In any sort of business, 80% of your time should be dedicated to sales and outreach and 20% on your delivery if you're just starting out. Okay. That's the highest leverage you have because it's all time based. Okay. Content I put up there second. You can see super big returns on this. Just ask the School of Hard Knocks, for example. It takes time to build, but everybody should be doing it because you can generate your warmest leads from there. Paid ads is the most scalable. It's also the most expensive. So a lot of mistakes can be made there. You don't necessarily see with the content and outreach because if you spend $2,000 on ads in a day and you get nothing from it, you're going to be hurting a lot more than a piece of content outreach that didn't go viral. Okay. So yeah, outreach, everything starts with that. That's why it's our base of our pyramid. Content is awesome, but it takes time to get results. Okay. I love content more and more. But paid ads, really the holy grail, right? Most people have limiting beliefs about them though, because so many people are on them, or it produces bad quality leads, or they hired a marketing agency and they just spent thousands of dollars with seeing nothing. So a lot of that comes down to lack of understanding of your offer and your core business before a single dollar is even spent on Meta. And you're going to know that in this call. So I'm going to teach you ways not to let algorithms, competitors, external factors get in the way of running paid ads profitably. Because I genuinely believe almost any business can run paid ads profitably if they have a good offer, social proof, all that good stuff. So you can do it too. Just the hierarchy and clients again. Cool. So who am I, right? My name's Chris Hermes. I've been marketing for about 5, 6 years now. I have a beautiful girlfriend of 5 years as well named Jacqueline. She is a charge nurse and a night shift nurse. She's awesome. She supports me a ton. My grandfather taught me business at a very young age, service-based companies, and our 2 dogs. We have a house in Arizona, and yeah, she supports me a ton. And just wanted to show you guys a little bit about me, since I'm sure most of you have no idea who I am. But yeah, Dexter is the wiener dog, and Reggie is the Jack Russell Terrier. He's like half Jack Russell Terrier, but yeah, they're 4 and 5 years old now, so they're cool dogs. So yeah, why am I here though? Jack and James asked me to speak here today with you guys. They said that they want me to break down ads for everyone in a way they'll actually understand, because people try to make ads way too complicated and make it seem like everyone can understand it. But that's totally false. Okay, and I need to show you guys what's going on, because I'm managing a few $1 million a month in ad spend right now in this market, so I can show you guys what's working. You guys had to see it. Okay, so none of this is theory, right? This is based off of actual ad spend and real life money, not recycled YouTube junk and course school strategies. I've gone through very few of those. All of this is built from running my own agency and through my own experiences. Okay, and in dozens of niches. I've pretty much been in not every niche you can think of. There's hundreds, but I've been in dozens of them. Okay, so I've seen a lot. So I started when I was 19, no course, no mentor, just a cheap drop shipping Shopify store. I saw kids making money with Facebook ads online, and it seemed appealing to me. So I dove in, watched a bajillion YouTube videos trying to learn. And I was working at Walmart at the time, living at my parents' house. And I just really wanted to make this entrepreneurship thing work. I didn't know exactly, but I knew I wanted to learn ads because I knew there'd be a payoff there, 100%. So I knew the fastest way for me to learn was to start my own stores and spend my own money. So that's exactly what I did. I worked at Walmart and ran 4 different dropshipping stores. Failed all 4. They either broke even or maybe made $100 or 2, or they lost money. I was sick of it. But what I really learned from this was how to make ads work, because I hired a mentor towards my end, and I was actually able to make that last one.
Chicken breast, how much would that be?
What's up?
No, I think you're good.
Gotcha. But yeah, so I figured out how to make ads work, right? We scaled it to a couple $1,000s a day, 50+ orders a day for about 6 months, until I get the worst thing ever in the dropshipping space, which is a DMCT takedown notice from a company that ended up patenting the eyebrow trimmers we sold. We had a beauty store. So that was really sad for me, but I was able to get like about $100,000 in ad spend under my belt, and I was able to make some money as a young kid. But yeah, from there, I ended up getting a job. I couldn't get another e-commerce store to get going, so I burned through my cash as I tried to spend on ads and make it work. So yeah, I got a job in the digital marketing space in real estate, financial services, and I got to managing a few $100K a month in ad spend in Google, Facebook, and I got to learn a lot about that. On the side, I was picking up a few clients in the mortgage and financial space, and it ended up overtaking my job, and that's when I made this decision to go all in, quit. In about 2 years it took me, I was able to scale that mortgage agency to about 221K a month in revenue. We had 20 employees, fully remote team, good margins, 300+ active or 100+ active clients, 300+ total. And yeah, scaled that with paid ads and a sales team. That was our main lever pulls there, and getting great client results for the loan officers for them to keep renewing and paying us to generate them loans, more than people looking for homes and that sort of thing. So after scaling that fast, I realized something though. Big agencies and a big team means big headaches. More clients did not equal more freedom. You can systemize so much, but at the end of the day, my skill set was really better suited for the marketing space, marketing and sales acquisition, rather than working with the team the whole day, hopping on meetings, putting out fires, etc. So I sold my equity to my business partner and walked away from the business, and I focused on higher leverage work I actually enjoyed a lot more. And after walking away, I rebuilt a leaner team. No team, because you can use a lot of AI and that sort of thing. No stress, just me delivering results that scale to the few clients that I can work with and really blow up. Okay, so as of right now, I work as a fractional chief marketing officer with select businesses and agencies, and sell exclusively to inbound calls to some of the biggest companies in the world in the insurance space, debt relief. I won't name all my verticals, but there's a lot that I'm selling leads and calls to some of the biggest companies in the world. So kind of split my time with both of those. Very fulfilling on the fractional CMO side to see agencies and businesses grow with the right marketing systems in place. Less clients, more ad spend, more profit. This is what modern growth looks like to me. So if you're able to unlock all of these 3 pillars I'm about to go over, and these 3 strategies by staying to the end, some of the things that might await you are agency P&L like this. You can see here we did 221K revenue, 110K a month. Before that, our profit 41K here, 105K here, 147K over 2 months. Cool. So I would normally never share something like this on a workshop, right? But because of all the gurus and out there with their Lambos and yachts, it's forced me to say enough is enough. Okay. But without further ado, let's kind of dive into our first pillar of running paid ads, which would be fixing your foundation. Most ads don't actually fail because of the media buyer that you have or the marketer on your team. They fail because of what's under the hood. Okay. So most ad accounts are broken before the first dollar is even spent. The ads aren't the problem. The offer, the funnel, and the lack of actual proof that you're not a scammer are the real problem. Right. So ads don't fix broken businesses. They multiply what's already there. So if you scale a broken offer, you're just gonna go broke faster. Even if you see money on the front end come in, that doesn't mean it's a good offer. That means if you're not able to extend LTV and actually keep clients, you're just gonna go broke even faster that way. Cool. So offer is everything. It must solve an urgent pain, must be framed around a clear outcome, and must reverse the risk if you're just starting out. Doesn't not necessarily if you're been in the game and you've gotten clear results and social proof. You don't need a risk reversal like that because you're really the Rolls Royce in that situation. But if you're just starting out, I highly recommend you reverse the risk, because why else would anyone want to work with you, right? You're just starting out. Okay. So an example, very basic example offer would be, we help real estate agents or help insurance agents close 5 policies a week, or we work for free minus our ad spend. So no fees, we just keep working because they have to keep spending on ads anyway. That is an example of a good offer. I've ran something like that before. Works well. If you can't sell without organic, you shouldn't scale with ads. You don't need 100 sales to validate it, but you need validation outside friends, family, and super warm lay down leads. Okay. You need to be able to sell to cold traffic. That is the key to ads. That is the entire purpose of ads, is to destroy cold traffic. Okay. What is cold traffic? They're complete strangers who have no idea who you are, never heard of your brand, have never seen you, and you need to make that ad good enough to where someone's clicking through that and filling out a form. So ask, Would you buy your offer if you saw it as an ad and have never heard of you? You need to go through your own funnel if you haven't already. Okay, because a lot of people aren't and they complain about lead and appointment costs. And if you just went through the funnel, you would see that there are glaring issues with the UI, with how fast things load, where it takes you congruency from ad to the funnel. So you've got to be able to set cold traffic. That's what all this is about, cold traffic. I'll keep saying it. Your funnel needs to match the intent. And you need to keep it simple. Okay, so service-based ad lander, lead form, survey to a calendar, ecom, ad, product page, checkout. Goal, zero confusion, and on to the next step. You don't want that to send them to a big website where they can scroll around and look at stuff. That's not going to result in conversions. We want to make it obvious for them what we want them to do and direct them to do it. Okay. Don't overbuild and overthink. Some examples of what not to start with. Okay, you don't need the 9 email VSL sequences. You don't need to have that much stuff to start with. It helps as you build out to improve your show rate and that sort of thing. If you're a multiple 100K a month business or agency, but just starting out, I wouldn't optimize for these things. I'd optimize for the stuff that I'm going to be going over and have so far. You don't need 14-step nurture automation. People hate those crazy nurture automations. Would you like getting texted 14 times before your appointment? No. So the best show rates I've ever seen in my life was actually in insurance, where people like selling to insurance agents where people don't ever show up. And I had no automations whatsoever. The only thing I had was a Calendly to confirm their appointment as soon as they booked it, which is super important. You want to confirm as soon as they book it so they feel like they actually just booked an appointment. As simple as that sounds. Half of things I opt in for or book an appointment don't do that. And then all I did was text them on the day of the call from my iPhone, saying like, hey Chris, it's Josh from Hermes Digital. I know we had a call scheduled at 2 p.m. today. Are we still good to chat then? And just confirm the appointment. People are more likely to respond to iMessage. If you don't have an iPhone, there's softwares out there. There's ways to do it. But I would do it on an iPhone. Your response rates will be way higher, and people just prefer. They just trust you a lot more. So I would just do that. You don't need a crazy nurture sequence. You can build them out later. And then a crazy quiz funnel bouncing people like crazy with like 10 questions. Like to start, I would do minimal friction so it's easy for them to fill it out and not leave. Unless the survey is very engaging, which is a different point. But you can't optimize what you can't see. Okay, you need to be able to track as well. Basic tracking, meta events manager, conversion APIs, offline events if you're selling high ticket, because you can go back and take that data from offline, a close of 12 grand, and you can put that back into Facebook and actually use that as a lookalike or some sort of audience-based targeting, which I don't necessarily love to do, but it does help if you're doing high ticket and selling to a very, very niche part of the market. And then attribution tools if you're scaling, like if you're spending 500 to 1,000 bucks plus a day, I would get Segmetrics, Hyros, Triple Whale, but one of those. I like Segmetrics because it's only like 300, 200 bucks a month, and it stays there. Hyros charges you like quite a bit, but they're pretty good too. All are good. You just want some sort of tracking. So one of our clients actually dropped the appointment cost by 70% just by fixing their offer in the funnel. Okay, it's going to look like this after. If you have a good offer, people want to speak to you, and it doesn't matter what the landing page looks like. Okay, so you wouldn't build a skyscraper on sand, so don't run ads without a foundation. So, okay, now that the foundation is solid and you have an offer that can convert on cold traffic, let's talk creative. Okay, so pillar number 2 we're gonna go over is creative domination. You don't have a traffic problem, you have a creative problem. The traffic problem you're seeing is just a symptom of having shitty creatives that people don't really care about. And that's what we're going to go over in this, because that's usually 90% of the issue when people are running ads when they have a decent offer. Okay. Your ad creative is the single biggest lever pull in your entire ad account. Creative, what is a creative? Okay. Creative isn't just image or video. Well, it is, but it's the messaging, the angle, and the scroll stopping content behind it. Oh man, someone's drawing on my screen. Hold on. So that distracted me for a second. So yeah, platforms win when users stay on longer, and boring ads get punished. Okay. So Meta, TikTok, and YouTube, they reward content that feels native and engaging. The whole business model for them is to keep people on the app scrolling. So Facebook has literally told us, Mark Zuckerberg's told us to focus on making better creatives, and they'll take care of the targeting of all this AI. They know who's looking for a service. Think about the ads you get targeted for. You're like, how on earth do they know that? Do they listen to me? Do they go inside my mind and my search history? They see all this stuff with your data. It's scary, but that's why you don't need interest-based targeting, because you're just getting in the way of that. So what most people do when they turn on ads is they'll try one ad, maybe one hook, a video or two, spend $500 down the drain, they won't get a booked appointment, maybe one booked appointment, that's a no-show or two, and they're like, ads don't work, my media buyer sucks, like what's going on, I need to hire a new media buyer. That's why most people lose. Okay, that's one, not enough volume. $500 is nothing, especially if you're selling something that is a higher ticket, and you don't have enough variation. You need to try so much stuff on cold traffic before you get a winner, and then you can build variations off of that. That is how you win. So here's what I do when I'm testing creatives. I like to test between 6 and 12 creatives in week 1, assuming this is like normal $100 a day like ad test to start with somebody. If you're starting with like 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, you just kind of multiply this. Okay, very simple. But this is the ad structure I use. Like this is very simple. So if you don't listen to anything else I say, take this away from this. Focus on really, really good creatives, and then set up your ads like this. Just focus on creatives 90%, and then just set up your ads like this. An ABO, not a CBO. And then for each ad set you have, put 3 creatives in there. They're all similar, preferably either all images or all videos. It doesn't have to be exactly 3. If you're spending more, you can do like 4. I don't like to do more than 4 though. I think 3 is the perfect amount, sometimes 2. And I try to keep 3 running at all times if I can. And then I'm putting 2 primary text and 2 headlines on there on each creative. This is not a dynamic ad creative. This is just there's 3 different ad creatives underneath the ad set. Each one is 2 primary text, 2 headlines. The same primary text, same headlines. Each ad set is just a different angle you're testing. So that's 12 plus variations on that test, and that's how you would do it right there. Okay. There's really only 2 types of creatives you need to master: pattern interrupt if you're on Facebook, TikTok, or anything where you're scrolling, or the proof or desire. You got to build belief and drive action. If you're running Google ads, that's where you're not really doing a pattern interrupt, you're doing it more intent based. You want to build belief that you have the best solution on there, because you're competing with hundreds of other companies with Google reviews, all that stuff. So you want to build belief in your company and your offer, and also cause them to drive action. You want a good hook, and you want to cause the person to drive action. That's how you make a good creative. Great ads feel just like organic content. Like you never even saw the sponsored part on there, but it sells like the pros. So I use a lot of different formats, or not a ton of different formats, but I'll use some different ones on my ads. Talking head Those are good. UGC style. Testimonial mashups, visual before and after for ecom, screen share, case study clips, images with just direct callouts and things that get people to stop scrolling, funny stuff, out of place stuff. You can do a lot of interesting stuff with AI now and put things out of place to get people to stop scrolling. Because that's the job of the AI, to get people to stop scrolling, click on your landing page. Here's an example of an ad that I made for a client of mine. It's that simple, black and white, and it's just clearly calling out who we're working with, calling out their pain point, you introducing this new unique mechanism and giving them the risk reversal and also a limited availability, and then the call to action. That's a pretty good ad right there. That's everything you want. That's pretty much how you write long copy or short copy. So this one converts really, really well even, and you can test like, dozens of different colors and variations of this and have winners for a long time just off of something like this. So you don't need to be a creative genius, like I said, in order to create this sort of stuff. This converts very well, it's very profitable. Okay. Most people obsess over targeting and look at like audiences and custom audiences and getting the right data. I obsess over creative. That's all that I really worry about 95% of the time. Targeting is almost never the problem. That is, Meta AI knows your buyer. Your job is to just stop the scroll and make them believe in a good service or product that you have. Okay. Ad fatigue is real. The testing volume solves it. So I see ads die all the time, good ads. People are always like, why does this ad die? Because your audience has seen it a bajillion times, and there's a certain subset of or a large subset of the market that doesn't like your ad, or wants to see something different. So you need different angles, hooks. Not every single angle is gonna fit with every single person. They're not going to understand it or vibe with it, I guess you could say, right? So yeah, you need to test volume. That's how you solve ad fatigue and rising lead costs. It's not by testing a new audience. It's by pumping out creatives, different angles, different hooks, different bodies. So yeah, I like to build systems for my clients where we drop 10 to 15 fresh ads per week at minimum. If we're spending, a few mil a month on a campaign, we're going to be doing the 10 or 15 daily. But it's a mixture of ChatGPT, Cloud prompts, various AI tools, Canva, AI voiceovers, and CapCut and TikTok clips to edit, and obviously internal SOPs that I provide the media buyers to follow so they can make all this stuff every day without having to be a creative genius. Okay. Creative is the front door of your entire business. So treat it that way. Now that you're stopping the scroll, let's make sure that the backend profits are rolling, okay? Because that's what happens after you get someone to click an ad. Cool. So pillar 3 we're gonna go over is scaling with control. Scale isn't magic or just bumping the budget up. In a way, it kind of is just bumping the budget up, but it's math, systems, and ruthless simplicity. That is how you scale. The fastest way to scale is by removing guesswork. If you're still saying, let's just see what happens, you're not scaling, you're gambling on ads. So before I scale anything, I lock in 3 numbers. You as a business owner, if you don't know these numbers, you need to know these numbers. If you're running ads or not, you need to know what your cost per acquisition is, meaning what does it cost you to acquire a client, each one of your clients. If it costs you something, even if you do content or outreach, because that's time, and you have a dollar amount that basically everyone does have an hourly value. So play that into account. If you're doing a ton of outreach and content 24 hours a day, that is an hourly rate. So it's costing you your time. Okay, so there's a cost associated because you're running a business. So you don't just say I get clients for free, because that's not true. It costs you your time, and your time is worth something. If it wasn't, you wouldn't have a business. Okay, so you need to figure out your cost per acquisition. What does it cost you to get a customer? Then when you get that customer, what is their lifetime value? How much do they spend over their entire life with you? How much revenue does that bring in? An average agency is probably around 5 or 6K. A good agency is around 12K. Selling retainer high ticket services. The best LTVs, like working with bigger companies, you can get that up to hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. It just depends what game you're playing. You need to know what that is. Does someone pay one time and leave, or do you have constant upsells? Knowing your lifetime value and extending that is the number one thing you can do as a business owner, and that's how you make your ads way more profitable, is by extending this number. And that usually comes down to your backend systems, getting people to renew, getting people to rebuy your product or sell them other products. If it's a subscription, you're keeping them for a long time, or getting them to spend a lot of money with you. But you have to know these numbers because it's just math. You need to have your CPI needs to be a lot less than your LTV. It just depends on your business. And then you need to know your margin, what it costs to deliver on these numbers, because this is revenue you still have to deliver. There's a cost to delivery. Yes, there's still a cost to delivery if you're doing it yourself and spending hours of your time. Delivery is not free. Either it's going to cost someone money if you outsource it, or it's going to cost you time, which again, you need to calculate your hourly rate. And then yeah, your break-even point for a self-liquidating funnel, basically. Like, how can I acquire customers for free is how you should be thinking. Not how can I get a 10, 20x return on my ads the first month? How can I break even and get customers for free so I can make my profit on this back end from the lifetime value? Because that's where the real money's made. I'll give an example I shared on my last call with the school scaling. So the average Starbucks customer, like I probably spent $40 there in my entire life. And then there's people who go there every day and get coffee, right? The average customer spends the average lifetime value. Their LTV is $14,000. So they can afford to go on billboards and spend billions of dollars. They spend billions of dollars on advertising because they can afford to spend pretty much up to $14,000 to acquire a single person, which is just absolutely nuts. So you need to know these 3 numbers if you're a business owner. If you're running ads or not, you need to know these. Okay? Your first goal should not be profit running ads. It's all about getting data. You want to break even on the front end and print money on the back end. That's how real businesses scale. So most people burn out scaling because their back end just isn't ready. They have no retention of their clients. The clients don't like the service. They have mediocre reviews. They don't retarget old clients. There's no nurturing process for old or new clients, and there's no follow-up. They're all gas, no breaks, and that's how you crash. Okay. I scale with control by simplifying everything. When I'm starting, one offer, one funnel, one main channel until it's at least at 6 figures a month. You do not need multiple offers until you get to a point where you've tapped out your market with that one offer. And you would know that. And if you don't, you can ask me, because I will let you know if you need to add another offer. But 95% of the time you don't, unless it's doing 6 figures plus a month, multiple 6 figures. I would say like 200, 300K a month. You really don't need another offer in most cases, or another funnel. Every dollar spent should feel like a machine prints results. This is when I started pushing to 1K to 2K a day ad spend, or 5K a day plus ad spend. Here's an example of a client I was working with. And we scaled from 2K to 5K a day in the ad spend. But here was his original campaign. Okay, 42 leads, a lot of impressions. You've probably seen this ad. But we were getting leads for $645. That is really expensive in this niche. And our cost per acquisition, he was getting was $7,000, which was way too high. Okay, but I was able to come in. You can see my test here, Chris Hermes test. I was able to come in and get leads for $142 instead of $645. These leads are worth a lot of money, by the way. They're worth tens of thousands of dollars if any of these convert. So that's why it's okay to spend this much on them. But we need to decrease that. And the CAC pretty much instantly, within 5 days, decreased in half, $3,400 from $7,000. So that's an example of scaling with that control that I was talking about. I like to scale when 3 things align. Well, I guess 4. But offer is proven to cold traffic. Okay, the creative converts, and then you have a funnel that backs up proof and urgency. If your back end can't deliver the product or service, you have no issues. I mean, you have an issue scaling. You should not scale. You should fix that before you scale. When it's dialed in, I don't just spend money on ads. I buy customers. I'll happily spend $500 to make a $3,000 sale, $3,000 sale. Yeah, that's the game. Or even I'll spend $3,000 on ads and get one person at $3,000, and that breaks even. But if that customer stays with me for 8, 12 months, the customer's value is what, 24 to 36K. In this example, I put 20K, right? So was it worth it to spend that 3K and get a 10, almost a 8, 10x return on my ad spend? Absolutely. So you have to start thinking like a business owner and not someone who is just trying to make a quick profit. Okay. So your mindset, you got to flip your mindset when you're doing this. So you're more emotionally stable when running ads and you're not making bad decisions. Okay. So the question isn't, should I scale? It's, are your numbers and systems ready for it? Do you know your CAC? Do you know your LTV? Do you know these things? Okay. So let's recap. That was a lot of stuff. Let's recap what I just went through. Okay. Pillar 1 was offers that cut through all the noise of all these crazy offers out there. You know what separates a commodity service from a client magnet? Something that actually brings in clients. Okay. It's not I'll run your paid ads. It's I'll get you X result in Y time frame, or we do the risk reversal and we do it with blah, 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 AI and this, that, whatever you do to do it. Okay. That's an offer that works on cold traffic. Cold traffic mastery. You've seen how to build ads that interrupt the scroll and convert strangers into actual leads and sales. There's tons of good examples, and there's a million videos I can share with you guys. But just think the next time you're scrolling at stuff that gets your attention, because everybody here scrolls. It's just a stat. So next time you're scrolling, look at what hooks. Pay attention to those hooks. Pay attention to what gets you stopping scrolling. Pay attention to the ads you're seeing. Okay, you can use that and repurpose it for yourself. Especially if you see an ad a lot of times, that probably means they're spending a lot of money on it, and it probably means it's making money. So especially if you know your way around this stuff, you know something works, and you can test it out for your own industry. Cool. Pillar 3, scale with control. You're not guessing anymore. You know your numbers, systems, and your signals for scale. It's just like turning on a button. You have all this dialed in. That's why people always say you can just turn on print money with paid ads, but yes, you need to have all this in order first, right? Then you turn on the button, and then you're pumping out creatives, you're doing XYZ like we just talked about, and you're doing all of this in scaling control. So you have the blueprint, really a basic blueprint on how to build paid ads, or when to run them, when not to run them, and really the overall strategy on how to run it. You don't need anything complicated or like what exact buttons to click. Like there's tons of YouTube videos if you need help clicking buttons. That's all media buying is. The rest is all that we talked about, the actual marketing strategy. Okay, media buying will probably be fully automated here in a few years, or it almost is now. I use a lot of AI tools for button clicking now on actual ad stuff. So you need help with tracking and all. Like there's so many good YouTube videos out for that stuff, but there's not YouTube videos for how to do this kind of stuff, how to actually build a strategy and build the house and the foundation. So when you go to run ads, it's money. Okay. So most of you don't need another strategy, right? You need help executing on what you know already works. And that's where I come in with what I do. I help agencies, businesses build, scale, and own their customer client acquisition system. I've helped founders scale past 100K a month and beyond, and I'm still in the trenches buying media and building systems every single day. Okay. So if your business is doing 20K a month and you're interested in learning more about how I can help you control your leads, scale, all that cool stuff, as your actual fractional CMO on your team, like I'm not an agency or coach, I'm like a true fractional CMO. If you're interested in that, but yeah, most people leave workshops like this and they don't do anything. They don't really implement it or do anything with it. You don't have to be like that, right? If you want the shortcut and direct path to fixing your pipeline, scaling your ads, I have an open calendar. And if you're the right sort of business, I'd love to talk to you and give you a free client acquisition audit. Okay, absolutely free, where I can dive in and go over the kind of stuff for you. So yeah, that's about all I have for you guys right now. We can dive into an open Q&A discussion and any sort of questions you have about your ads you're running, how to run ads, strategy, how to get more clients. So yeah, we can kind of dive into that if you guys are ready.
Absolutely. All right. Yes. So now it's the Q&A section, everyone. So if you can go ahead and raise your hand if you have a question for Chris, so he can give you tailored feedback to your specific business. He'll be more than happy to answer for you all. But first up, I see that Vicky has raised her hand, so we're gonna bring up Vicky. What's up?
Hi guys, Chris, that was so great. Thank you for that. I have a quick question. I hear this feedback a lot about driving traffic to one main offer first to scale. What if it's a super low ticket offer that you have? Would you have opinions on the price range that rule should be applied to?
Yeah, so the low ticket offer, like you can use that. You want to just run one funnel to that. Well, let me ask you this: do you have upsells or a backend where you're selling a high ticket service?
I don't have backend high ticket services, but I have so many order bumps and upsells, and I feel like it's just diluting the entire journey for people. It's like confusing, you know?
Okay, gotcha. So once you already have them as a customer for one thing, it might be worth it to run ads and target them again for those other things you have, specific product pages or emails. If you don't want to spend money on ads, email them these other products that you have now that you have their data and they bought from you, because it's way harder to acquire a new client than it is to keep getting them to keep spending. They just need to know about all these different things that you have to offer. So I would almost go the email and remarketing route for those ones.
So would you run retargeting ads for those lower ticket order bumps that maybe they're not taking?
Yes, I would. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be a solid strategy there. Is it a service or product you're selling, or a mix of both?
It's courses.
Courses. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, I would do different. Yeah, each product line, and I would really, because you're buying the traffic one time, you just have to keep sending. I would send them a lot of emails, and remarketing would be the best way. And you can also do the retargeting on Facebook ads. You might as well, because they already bought from you once. And I would build some lookalikes off of that in that case. Like I did say in my presentation, I'm a big fan of broad, but I would test it in your case. Again, I like to test everything. I'm not just all broad all the time, but 95% of the time, that's the way to go. Your case, I would test it.
Love that. All right, thanks, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, Vicky. I hope you got some value from that. All
Awesome.
right.
Great question, Vicky. Let's go ahead and bring him now. Antonio, welcome up.
Yes, hi, thanks very much, guys, and thanks, Chris and Nathan. This is great. Lots of learnings for sure. So real quick, I run a digital marketing agency too. I'm facing a little bit of an issue with attracting, my niche is in the healthcare, pain management, sports medicine, physical therapy. So running ads on Meta has proven to be a little expensive. The cost per thousand or cost per milestone is pretty high. I think it's just an expensive audience. Do you have any recommendations as to how to drive more engagement? Because we're trying to do the 2 layers, interest-based, not broad, right? So we just want to make sure that we talk to the right audience and not using audience plus or whatever Meta is promoting, because that has proven to be like junk, right? So lots of junk leads. So we're trying to be very focused on the audience audience. So, but that has really driven the cost up on CPMs. The CPCs are like
Okay.
40 plus, 25 plus, right?
Okay. So can I actually check it out right now, or do you not want to share? Either way, it's cool.
Yeah. So you want me to share my screen real quick?
Sure. Or yeah, that, or I can put it in Facebook ad library. Either way. Yeah, let's do that. Share real quick. That's perfect.
Sure, I'll share real quick. So,
Okay.
So let me go to my ad account. So it's let's see.
There's go to ads manager right there. Yeah.
So I have, and this is another one. So I manage a lot of different Facebook, but let me go to the one that I manage. Well, the one that's for my business team, the side ops one. So here
You have a, what's your page name that you're running? I'm gonna look it up in the meantime.
Well, my page name is book.sideops.com. I can put it on the actual chat, so you
Yeah,
can.
the Facebook page name that you're running ads from, correct?
Yeah, it's actually my Facebook page is SideOps, Site OPTZ. Yes. And this is well, I was trying to do some 4-in-1s too. I mean, I know these are like they were popular like 5 years ago, and everybody was trying to do them. But this is the one like the top of funnel. Let me just go. I stopped them. Let me just go like last all time, so maximum. So you can see the CPMs are like really crazy here. So let's see.
You're running some. Okay, so just click into the one that's running it. Is any reason you turned that one that's $13 off? $13
Oh, this was an open one, lots of junk. Like spammers,
Okay.
like fast beats.
Okay.
Ended up turning it on. That was good, right?
Okay, you're running Facebook form leads. I think that's also probably your main problem and why you're getting a lot of junk leads. I would set up a landing page with a funnel that qualifies them, calling out the audience at the top, and then a survey. Telling them what the guarantee, what the offer is, survey.
So I have a VSL, right? So we're driving that to a VSL with a video of me explaining how I've done it for other paid management practices and going through the, like AI. I mean, I'm using AI for lead nurturing, all that other stuff. But they were just getting to the VSL and not booking it because the VSL had the book an appointment button.
Yeah, I would take the VSL off then, and then I would put that at the end of the funnel after they book. So I would make it as easy and frictionless as possible for them to book.
Okay.
So take that VSL off because it's not the right place for it. I would put that on the thank you page, almost like a pre-call guide where you tell them what to expect on the call and that sort of thing.
Right, because this is the VSL, right? So I have this video, and then I have to book your appointment. Right.
Okay. Yeah, so I would put that at the very top below the sub headline. I would remove that video. I'd also take out that background and just do something like just a white background.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
I'm curious if it looks like on mobile because that's probably where 90% of your traffic will come from.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so just make sure it looks like the calendar is above the fold. So like when you load it on mobile, you'll see the calendar on there at the bottom, or at least like right there. That would be my only recommendation. And then I'm sure you'll get more booked appointments at a lower cost that way.
Perfect. All right. So I know there's a lot of people wanting to ask questions, so I'm not gonna. Thank you very much, and I'll find you on LinkedIn, and we can talk later.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Hopefully that helped.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. All right, next question.
Thank you so much, Antonio. Now we're gonna bring up Zane. Welcome up.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing today, Zane?
I'm great. This was a great presentation, by the way. I really appreciate all the game you dropped. Just to give you a bit of context, so professional recording studio at the moment, and I have run some ads that were basically focused on the local market through Meta, which worked for me last year. Now what I'm kind of pivoting into is music and some digital products related to the music. So I have a couple questions, but my main question is, would you ever do something where you're running a call to action? So the previous one was a message, and they would just DM me, and I would book sessions with people. Mm-hmm. Would you ever do sort of a combined thing where you run a campaign to get awareness and gain followers, and then have something like a link in bio, or would you have a direct link to a landing page?
Yeah, always do lander. Don't do that first option ever. I've actually seen there's a really popular Salt Mine Studios. I think they're called here in Arizona, like a double platinum studio. I always see their ads. That's why I'm able to remember this. But they are really successful. And he basically he's at his studio. And I couldn't find their ad right now. I just looked, but he's at their studio. He's basically just saying like what they do, how they do it, how they've helped X amount of artists accomplish Y. And then at the end, the call to action, they tell the price. They said the hourly rate starts at $75 an hour. Or I think it was something like that. Like they do say the hourly rate, and it's like fill out a form below to get in contact today. And just a simple landing page it takes them to with a form fill out. And then from there, I assume you can book an appointment after the form fill out. But then you just call those form fill outs and you see what they need basically. And then you set up that nurturing and show them other things you've done for people, other beat, whatever type of music you're doing, and then just show them that proof that you're not a scammer and that you run an awesome studio. That's basically all you're trying to do for cold traffic. So that's what I would do. I would run it to that Lander though website.
Gotcha. Okay, I appreciate that. That's great advice. Another quick question: is this mainly for Meta, or the same principles would apply to like a YouTube ad, or would that be completely different?
Same principles. No, not same principle. Well, similar principles. So I would do Facebook for you because it's gonna be a lot easier and cost effective. And because I know because I get this ad all the time targeted on Facebook, and I know they do very well. They're a local shop. So yeah, I would just stick with that, man. Okay. Keep it simple. Yeah, I'd send them to just Facebook for now. I wouldn't worry about Google and that sort of thing. Yet anyway, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna cost a lot more to acquire a client, at least right now. But yeah, Facebook is usually where I like to start for most offers, unless it's like you're a plumber and you're only fixing people's toilets that broke and the water's going everywhere, or like an HVAC. It makes a lot of sense for like those emergency stuff to do Google, because obviously like you're not gonna be on Facebook scrolling if your apartment's flooding. So yeah, like for you, there's obviously people who search, but it's gonna be a lot of catching people, a lot of artists who have been on the fence about it. That a lot of underground artists who are on the fence, who've never been to a studio, they could reach in Facebook that would never otherwise searched on Google for that with the intent. Yeah, Facebook, you can scroll stop somebody, introduce them to yourself, get them inclined in your system.
Gotcha. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, man. Hope you got some value, Zane.
Let's go. Sure. Great question, Zane.
For sure.
All right. Andres, welcome up.
Hey, Chris. Hey. So my question is basically, I've been running a marketing agency for a couple of months now and haven't signed my first client yet. Okay. And now I'm setting up a Loom outreach campaign. So what outreach campaign did you do to sign your first couple of clients?
Yeah, that's a good question. I did LinkedIn and Instagram for outreach. That's how I hit my first 10 and 20K a month. I ran ads here and there, but I didn't have it figured out yet when I was starting. So all my clients came from LinkedIn outreach. You can send up to 50 connection requests a day. So you just need to map out your offer. For example, I'll tell you exactly what my message was. It would be something like, hey, Andre, couldn't help but notice you're a loan officer. If I could book you an extra 30 appointments next month, would that be of interest to you? And so that's a really good message, because if you send it to 40, 50 people in your target market, like you're sending it to loan officers every day, per LinkedIn account, you can send 40, 50, and you build up your LinkedIn presence and your connections, all that kind of cool stuff. And then Instagram, it's a little harder now because they like shadow ban cold if you're doing a lot of cold, but it still works, especially if you're active on there. You can send 30 to 50 messages. Just look at meme pages. Like for us in mortgage, we go to mortgage meme pages, and guess who's looking at mortgage meme pages? Mortgage loan officers. So I just go to who's liking those photos, or I would have a virtual assistant go find all those people that liked and commented, and then message them that message that I just said. And then from there, you want to schedule the appointment. You don't want to try to sell over the DM. You just want to try to get them on a call. That's kind of your biggest thing. And yeah, I did that for a while. and that's how I kind of get myself fed. Then posting in Facebook groups, providing value. Golden rule, especially when starting out, just provide value to everyone. I did a few work for free ones. That's good because you can get case studies and results. Working for free is not bad, especially when you're in the position where you haven't signed a client yet. It's not bad at all. Just if you can get a case study and a happy customer, it's totally worth it because that allows you, one, it builds you confidence, and then two, like you can actually sell what you're doing. Like, and your prospects will notice that. I'm not going to dive into like crazy sales stuff here, but yeah, if you have a product you believe in, it makes it 10 times easier to sell. But yeah, that's what I would do, my man.
Yeah, the meme page is really a smart strategy.
Yeah, it doesn't work for every industry, obviously, but like just go to where your clients hang out and go do outreach to them and provide value first. You can ask them if they want a free audit, or there's a lot, there's a lot of ways without being overly aggressive. You can provide value first. Because yeah, if you provide value with expect nothing in return, that's kind of how you win the game. Just provide value, don't expect anything in return, and over a long period of time, you're gonna win. Yeah.
Thank you. That's some awesome value.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Great stuff. Thank you for coming up.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ayush, if you can turn on your camera, if you have the ability to do so I can bring you up.
Actually, don't have my webcam integrated in my PC, so sorry for that.
No worries.
So my question to you was, as a complete beginner, how do I get started with Facebook ads? So I had this plan, like me and my business partners are launching a bedding home niche brand. And yeah, so for the marketing purposes and all, how do I get started with Facebook ads and everything? Yeah,
that's a good question. So I started with e-commerce. I did it with my own brand, right? And I had a small budget, like $20 a day or so. If you don't have that, the other best way is to work at a job where I got to manage 100K in ad spend. I used my digital marketing skills that I had with my e-commerce business, and I was able to get a very nice paying job without a college degree or any of that nonsense because they saw my skills in the digital aspect. So if you have those skills, especially with all the remote opportunities available now, I would go there and work at an agency for about a year and learn everything about ads on someone else's dollar. And then you can go start your own thing. And then third, I'd say give free trials. If you want to go full entrepreneur route right now, go get free trials. People say, if you cover your ad spend, I'll take care of your campaign. But even then, you have to have some results to be able to have them trust you with their money.
So what are the best resources I can learn from?
What is the best?
So like the best resources that I could learn from?
YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Like every question you have about media buying is searchable on there. So like even that question you asked me, type that into YouTube and like watch. I would say the first 4 pages of all the videos. Like watch. Like when you have a question, just like literally YouTube. That's how I learned YouTube University. And then I hired a coach after that. Once I hit a roadblock. And I decided, then I got one-on-one, and that was definitely helpful and caused me to get over that hump. But YouTube University, man, there's so much free info from the smartest people on the planet. So
like I'm very familiar with the technical stuff, like pushing buttons and all in the ads, like setting up ad sets, campaigns, and everything. But the thing I need to figure out is mainly the creative side, like how to plan, how to build a strategy and all that.
Yeah, for sure. So I would look up, how to make really good creatives and understand what it takes. My being on this call was great to start, but now go ask that same question to YouTube, and there'll be so many videos on how to make creatives. Alex Becker has a great one on how to use ChatGPT to make images. Like all the images I'm making and running right now, like even for clients I'm spending thousands of dollars a day, they're ChatGPT images. I had to whip ChatGPT a few times, but it still gives you a good image if you're not a creative master. Because like I said, I'm not a graphic designer or a crazy video editor. I can do the basics. But yeah, if you can kind of describe it, and again, if you get to the point where you can hire a creative person, that helps too. But there's so many AI tools, man, and Facebook ad library. You can see what's already running. So if you see something that stands out to you, you can make your own version of it. That's what I recommend, because I'm not just a wizard that's going to come up with the world's best creative from scratch. That's just not me. Some people are, but
that's so one last question to you is, how do I decide my budget? Let's say if I am about to launch this brand for the first time and it costs like $80 to $90 a product. So like, how do I decide my budget? Like what budget should I
run? So what is it you're selling? You're selling a product or service, first of all?
A product.
And it's
an e-commerce brand.
Okay, it's an $80 or $90 product?
Yeah.
Does it have any upsells or anything? Or it's just that product for now, right?
Just that product.
Okay, cool. So I would spend, obviously the most you can spend to validate it, the better, right? But you could get away with spending $20 a day, like 20 USD, 20, $30, I would say. But since the product is $80, it helps to be able to spend that full $80 a day. So you can at least train Facebook to try to get a sale a day. That's usually what I would recommend. If you can get to $80 or $100, but yeah, I would do $20 test then. And maybe not do a ton. I would probably do like 5 creatives and see if any of them get purchases. Because that's basically what I did when I was starting out. $20 budget, and I was selling a $20 eyebrow trimmer. I had to figure out how to sell, what do you call them? Like the replacement blades on top to get the average order value from $20 to $30. What is the service? Yeah, so you want to calculate your CAC, that customer acquisition cost, and your lifetime value. And with those numbers, that'll tell you how much you can spend basically to acquire a client. You want to stay under that or like how much? It depends on those 2 numbers, right? It totally depends.
Okay, all right, no problem. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome, great questions, Ayush. I'm now going to bring up, how do you pronounce that name? That's a great name, LaRue.
Yeah, that's me. Thank you, man.
Awesome, absolutely.
First of all, thanks so much for the